Hi, my name is Nancy Eisenman, and I work as a therapist at Healing Hearts of Indy Counseling in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the topic of my video today is healthy conflict. I know, right? What a yucky topic, conflict. So you might be saying right now, you know what, I don't like conflict. And that's okay, not very many people do. It's just uncomfortable, and many folks are just straight up conflict avoidant. Besides, how could conflict be healthy? Isn't conflict bad? And aren't we all supposed to want to achieve a state of no conflict? Well, truth is, there really is such a thing as healthy conflict because we live in a world that is imperfect, so there will always be conflict. And that's the topic for today. So, are you ready to tackle this one? Ready or not, here we go. So, we all know that none of us are perfect. Narcissists, especially, and the rest of us most of the time too, would love to have you believe that they are perfect, but it simply isn't true. It is inevitable then that we're all going to get our feelings hurt from time to time by our imperfect friends, coworkers, and significant others, etc. It's gonna happen. We're going to hurt them sometimes too, no matter how hard we try not to. We have a unique opportunity, though, to gather information during this kind of event, and we can use the information to either perpetuate the hurt and further the damage in our relationship, or to actually help our relationship. That's right, I said that we can help our relationship make it better and stronger through these times of hurt. This is achieved through the process of healthy conflict. So to demonstrate healthy conflict, I'm going to take you through the process in a very typical scenario. I'm also going to point out along the way how each person has the opportunity to change hurtful, damaging conflict into healthy conflict. So let's take a look at our example couple, John and Anna. In the first step of healthy conflict, one person says, ouch. This is actually a necessity in any healthy relationship. We have to be able to tell each other when it hurts. So if there's going to be true intimacy and safety in a healthy, yet always imperfect relationship, each member must know that their feelings are important to the other person and that they will be heard, especially when those differences or imperfections jump up and bite us in the proverbial rear end. So we'll begin with Anna, who softly and humbly says, ouch, to John. John, that behavior you did really hurt my feelings. John now has the opportunity to grow, learn, understand, and change. This is John's first opportunity to encourage healthy conflict. He can say, in this moment, I want to understand your feelings. Tell me more. Your feelings are valid. I'm sorry, and I will not do this behavior again. And then John does everything in his power to never do it again. If John does receive this ouch humbly, the conflict ends here. Increased safety in the relationship ensues. Anna feels heard and validated, and John grows. This is the healthiest scenario. Both people have done their part. Wouldn't that be nice? This is possible. However, being realistic, it pretty rarely goes down that way, right? It is, after all, extremely difficult and against our natural ego-filled, prideful state, especially if we have a lot of shame, to have the humility to say, I'm sorry, or I screwed up. That is paramount to admitting our worst fear, that the person we hurt will now think that we really are the bad person we've always believed down deep that we were. So instead of humbly saying, I'm sorry, we instead say something like, you need to change how you feel about this, or some other version of, this is your problem, not mine. It is very minimizing of the other person's feelings and completely valid worldview, and it usually comes out extremely defensive. This kind of response usually causes major damage to the relationship and hurts the other person's feelings and triggers their pain even further. They will now likely feel unheard, not understood, like the other person doesn't care about their feelings, and abandon. John has just missed his first chance to help heal the situation, and instead has potentially made it much worse. Anna likely feels abandoned and withdraws love and acceptance, while John fulfills his lying self-truth that he is not worthy of being loved. So then what happens? So if we go back to the spot where John has overreacted to Anna, saying ouch, Anna at this point has her first opportunity to have an effect on the dance they are doing. Now, this is truly difficult because Anna has made herself vulnerable by saying ouch, and in response, she's gotten an arrogant and minimizing response. So it's not exactly a safe situation for her. And now she's supposed to change her natural response, really? Yes, that's what I'm suggesting. So her natural response might be right in line with John's worst fear, of course, thinking he's a piece of crap and not worthy of being loved. Am I right? I mean, after all, John just treated Anna extremely poorly and pridefully. He is a piece of crap, right? Anna feels justified in thinking as much. While it is true that John did just overreact, protecting his wounds, and did not handle it well at all, there is another choice to be made here for Anna, too. Now, not gonna lie, it's not easy, and it's going to take some extreme self-control, practice, and having your own issues settled down quite a bit. The name of this intervention is grace and differentiation. Not for the faint of heart, Anna will have to stare her fears of being abandoned and unheard square in the face in order to pull it off. And not only for a minute. She's going to have to hold this discomfort, likely for some time, like maybe even days. What does this grace and differentiation intervention look like? Well, I'm glad you asked. It is understanding John when he gets angry, knowing he has issues biting him in the rear, and giving him grace because your issues bite you sometimes too, right? Not taking it personally when he cuts off, and if he is reactive like this, he will. Perhaps not chasing him down and insisting we talk about it right now, and letting it percolate if necessary. Holding her ground that she is allowed to feel and think differently than he does, while allowing him to think and feel differently than she does. Now, here's the big one, folks. This is the huge one right here. You don't have to agree. Oh, but we get caught up on this one, don't we? So the fear is that if the other person doesn't agree with us, then they might not love us, and then we might not be able to be together anymore. That's the fear, but it's not really true. It's actually enmeshed to try to force the other person to agree, and it is relationally unsafe, and it's also unrealistic. But oh, we get caught in this power struggle hell all the time until we let go of the notion that the other person has to agree with us. So Anna can keep herself safe, stay non-reactive, hold her own opinion about the situation, give John space to come back toward her humbly, or not, and that's the part where she has to risk and really feel her abandonment. And keep, and oh, this one's hard, keep loving and accepting him for where he is. If John continues to act the same way time after time, every time Anna says ouch, their relationship will suffer tremendously, and it will eventually end in one way or another, and vice versa. If Anna were to react with the attitude of get over it every time John said ouch, same thing. Most people, though, really don't expect their partner to be perfect when it comes down to it. But they do need to see genuine sorrow and a turning away from the behaviors that hurt them. They need their partners to listen and to have humility and then ultimately to grow and to get better at not hurting them. So, all of that said, there is a major pitfall here to avoid too, and it needs to be addressed. So, sometimes people will take on too much of the other person's consistent overreactions and unwillingness to grow and be humble. And in so doing, they become kind of a doormat. This is equally unbalanced with being too prideful. Now, I'm not suggesting this overcorrection, this codependency. What I'm suggesting is an acceptance by both people that they each have a different view, both are valid, and they don't have to agree. They do, however, have to learn where their partner's pains are and be sensitive to them if they want their partner to stay in relationship with them. So if we play this out, it looks a little like this. John says, "I understand this behavior hurts you, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway because in my worldview, I'm right." And Anna will go on her way eventually if this happens enough times. She does not agree that that behavior is okay with her, and she doesn't have to agree. Is the behavior in question a deal breaker for either person? Then they will likely not have a relationship for long. That's okay, and they can each go on their way, agreeing that neither is going to change. But that's painful. It usually means a divorce or a breakup. The pain of those events is meant to keep us together so that we grow and learn that humility in relationships instead of breaking apart so easily. So back to the alternative for John. John, if he really had his reactivity in check in this case, could say to Anna when she says ouch, "I understand that my behavior hurt you, Anna. I'm sorry. How can we do this differently with me understanding your pain and you understanding what I need too?" All of you Annas out there, now wouldn't you respond favorably to that? Anna agrees. Now there is a mutual humility. That is a safe relationship. Anna can realize John's reasons for his behavior and any fears that may drive it so as not to take his behavior personally. And John can work on becoming softer and more careful with Anna's feelings. John grows in sensitivity, and Anna grows in grace. Now the relationship is doing its job. It's refining them both. If your partner can't quite do the humility thing yet, you can change the dynamic anyway. And if they refuse to find some humility, you can grow the strength to eventually locate the door to the relationship as well. If you are the one that can't do the humility thing yet, I pray that you can soon. All of your relationships will suffer and ultimately likely end if you cannot find some. Humility is the lifeblood of good relationships. If you want to be able to pull off the grace and differentiation intervention, you're going to need help getting your own issues under control. I can help you with that. Give me a call at 317-605-7015 or email me at nancy@healingheartsofindy.com. Let's get started. I hope you enjoy my videos. Please like our YouTube channel and feel free to leave comments or send links to the videos to your family and friends. Thanks for stopping by.